Hello, everyone. Welcome to this meetup. This time I have Alex with us to talk us to tell us about event storming, and I will do it. We will do it as I like it most, as an interactive session. Event storming. Just my quick perception about this. Why did I thought this was an interesting idea? Because it's a technique used to collaboratively discuss about basically analyze an application in a DDD style, maybe resulting in some microservices, but Alex will tell us more about that. It's a technique that is very collaborative, and this is something that I think we're missing these days. It's quite something very interesting, and I've just heard about Alberto Brandolini that will talk on 12 on codecamp.ro. Just a quick discussion here. Codecamp. I think I can share the screen for a second just to share this. It's interesting because how do I stop participant sharing? Sorry, Alex, for a second. Just want to show the folks this one. Share screen. Share screen. My mouse stopped working. There you go. So Codecamp will be about architecture and design, and I've just seen here today. I've received the email. I've seen Alberto Brandolini here, and the problem that he also mentioned is that event storming was for a physical world, but how will the pandemic change? How do we do this in a remote first world? So this is actually an application of this. Right? We'll try to do this event storming over.
Yeah. The thing is that when the pandemic started, Alberto say, no, we cannot do event storming online. It's not possible. It's something that we cannot do. Finish. And when the COVID came, me and Sam, we say no. We're going to start. We're going to try it. So on some of my customers, I organize some event storming for the business, for example, not only for the IT, but I did for both. And we use it. The tools that we're going to use tonight, it's Miro, and it was fine. And it was working. And we have a lot of people inside, and it was working. It's not as good that if you are in a big open space and you have a lot of people and it's talking and everything like this, it's not the same, but it's always better than nothing. Yeah. And I think Alberto comes with the first presentation or training in remote somewhere September or October last year.
Nice.
Because finally say, okay, yeah, I need to, because otherwise I do nothing for years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you can resume the sharing, please.
Yeah. So I share again.
Oh, yeah, the stage is yours. So please feel free to tell us about you, several words, and introduce us to the topic. But the sharing not working yet.
Where is my mouse? Here. Okay. No. Yes, first screen is correct.
Not yet. Sure.
Okay.
Now it's okay.
So that's correct.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So, and why now? Okay. So, my name is Alexandre Cuva. So I'm a technical agile coach, agile coaching, and whatever other things you can think. But then first, I'm a craft. So I have something like 20 years of experience in the IT fields. I was, in other life, I was a civil engineer. So you see, not everyone come directly on the IT field. So I'm working mostly in Switzerland currently, but I work in Vietnam, in Southeast Asia, a little bit around the world. Think like this. A lot of experience. If you want to know more me, you watch the video that I did yesterday with Alex Balboaca. It's show. I don't remember what's the name of the show, Victor.
I don't know.
We don't know. Okay, but it's a show. You can interview me to know everything about me now. So it's like this. So I work for a company called Software Agile. It's my own company, so we're only one person. It's very simple. And so today we talk about event storming. So what's about event storming? Event storming is about understand what is the customer needs by using domain-driven design. Event storming was created by Alberto Brandolini a few years ago. What he did is say, okay, I take story mapping, a lot of post-its, domain-driven, put together, and I create event storming. And he was starting with this, and then we present to many other people. I met Brandolini in London. Was I think it was 2018 or 2019. I don't remember when it was the 10 years anniversary of the craftsmanship community. So yeah, 2018 it was. And we have a chat and everything, and I show him what was doing with event storming and what he was doing, and we had exchange. It was cool. It's easy. Event storming is very easy. So when it's not in remote, what we say, we just take papers. Like you see, I have a lot of paper here in the back. Take that paper, 10 meters, hold longer on the wall, stick, and that's it. And that's the timeline. On remote, you do the same, nearly. You try to find a big piece of papers on remote, and then you can put everything. That's the timeline. It's very easy. Second things you need, you invite everyone that could be useful. IT, business, managers, cleaner, maybe, I don't know, whatever. But the most important person that needs to be there is the domain experts, is the people that understand the business. That's the most important. If they're going to bring you the knowledge, they're going to bring you the language, because we understand about ambiguous language. We want to know exactly what is the word they use for particular stuff. And your timeline maybe passed to different service. And so we're interesting to know what is the word that we'll use for this service, and then this service, and then this service. Because we're gonna, with the event storming, what we're gonna do is we're gonna design the software with the business. At the end of several days event storming, we have our design and we can start to work. So then after this, some people will do some event sourcing or not, depend on you. But you have a big pictures, you know everything. If you want to work like a microservice, you have a very clear understand what are the different domain. And so it means this is your microservice, and you know which are the services that come from outside. So all the subdomain, you know where it's going to connect and everything. The first time I did this with an IT team until the end, they were looking at the pictures and watching, say, wow, we have all the design. We know exactly where it's connecting, what is connecting. We can start to work. And it's true. They start to work immediately. No need to start to write any specification and everything, because we did everything with the business at the same time with the IT. So first part, really the beginning on event storming, we want to understand what are the domain events. That's what's interesting, just this. So the first thing is we ask the question and we enter all the domain events. What is important is to have a sticky note, it's orange. Or you specify which color will be the event and you stick on this. That's very important. Every domain-driven object will have its color. An event is a past tense verb, not a future or whatever. It's a past tense verb. And it's an expert domain that will say what is it. Tonight, we have a domain expert in COVID as Victor Andrea.
Oh my God, it sounds so weird, huh? No.
So after that, boy, I'll go faster. There's no need. After that, we have the action. So at the time we finish all the events, we look for the action document item. So mostly the command is mostly you decide, you say, okay, which this event, from where it's coming from. It is a command that launched that event. It is something outside or whatever. You're going to start to look on inside. Maybe an event is coming because there's a policies. Or sometimes you use the policies to define somewhere where you have a lot of things happening inside, but for the moment, you don't want to go deeper inside. So you just put the policy, and then when we iterate again and come back again to that part, we go deeply inside. The point is not to go deeply inside immediately. You do different iteration. You can say, okay, we do today 2 hours, then tomorrow we come back, we do again 2 hours, and so on and so on. That's very important to think, okay? And at the end, you have something like this. That's for the example. We did this on remote with a customer. It was a customer registration for working, for freelancer working, and offended to have the requirement, etc., etc. And we did this with him. We did different iteration, and then we complete more and more. I think this one was the second iteration when we started to go deeper inside. What we added, the information we added from the base event storming that as Brandolini is described, we added the specification by example. So at the moment we start to have something that's where you see where you have the white post-its, you see there's an aggregate, something that's go together. We can start to write all the specification inside to understand clearly what's happening inside one of the policies, for example. We'll start to write on this. What we added too is we added swim lane. So the event storming become the backlog of the team. And then under the swim lane, we have the different user story to implement this. So every time the team can watch where we are, okay, that's user story was here. Okay, oh, we designed this, is good here. We have an action, we have event here, and like this. So they have a continuously, they can follow up. And even when they come back, when they talk with the customers come back here and they look at and understand what we did. And they say, oh yeah, but we forget something here. That's happened here. And so we can put updates directly here and we have continuously something stay. Of course, it needs to be somewhere that you have the right to put on the wall and keep it on the wall long term. Other ways, electronic solution like Miro, for example.
Just a question here, if I can. These policies that you mentioned are like black boxes at first, and then you will explore them again.
Yes. It's a policies, or if you want, it's an orchestrator. Okay. And so you need to understand what is going to do the orchestrator. How it's going to be. You're going to have action that will, action that will enter inside the orchestrator, then will come back, some event outside, and so on and so on. So it's going to be a little bit mess inside. So you want to look inside and you don't go deeply inside immediately. You do many iteration. Because otherwise you lose too much time on orchestrator and you don't have the full story. And maybe when you're doing the full story and you discover the different core domain, you discover, oh, but that orchestrator is on a subdomain. We don't care about this. And you lose the time on a subdomain. That's stupid. It's a waste of time, for example, okay? So, demo, we go out here.
Okay.
So I take out that post-it, it's here. And I take a first post-it, arrange, first event. So explain me, Victor, the domain expert, how is going. So what you say to me, it's it's for the population in Bucharest. They want to get the vaccine.
Yep. So
what they need to do? What is the first event that happened?
Well, what do they need to do? Well, they need to go to a website to register themselves for a vaccine.
Okay, so we have
point, I guess.
I'm writing. So we have a user registration.
Yeah, first of all, create an account on that platform, basically. So that system that we are talking about has to be registered with. So you have to get an account, provide some details like, I don't know, address, phone. Phone is critical, by the way.
Yeah, for the moment we keep on this. We don't go deeply in the detail. Just to say. So the user, we have a user is registered. At that moment, is you calling this a user or as a patient or is that a specific name?
Well, if it's registered, then no, we don't call it in a different way. It's just
so it's
not a patient. It's not a patient. It's not being treated. It's not being treated. It's being vaccinated. So it's just, let's call it how do you call it? Man, maybe man. Is it? I don't want to be. Population is man. Let's call it man, or is it, or how else, right?
Huh?
Person is better. Yeah.
Person.
Or citizen and a person.
Person. Okay. So it's a person. Okay. So the person register at that moment here. Okay. So what's happened after that?
After you are registered, you need to be assigned to a certain phase of the vaccination process. So you need to be somehow sorted and put in a certain phase, and there are a number of phases.
What do you mean about phases?
The moment in time in which they will receive the vaccine. I mean, the first phase will be the person.
Okay, so first phase and so the step, the different step.
The steps of vaccination, we call them phases, and that's the keyword for us.
Okay, it's the keyword. So you say that stage. So there's a phase selected.
Phase, like phase, not face. Phase. PH8 phase. PH8. No. PHAS, like phase. I don't know. Yeah.
Phase.
Phase. Yes, phase.
Phase selected would be something like this.
Yeah. You are assigned to a certain phase that need to be done.
Yeah.
Right, and this is done by partially automatically, but partially you will need some human intervention in that part.
So they need something specific to know what is the phase, in which phase they're going.
Yes. So the person assigned, I mean, the phase assigned to a person is for most cases detected, inferred automatically by age.
Okay.
But there are some exceptions to that rule.
Okay. So age group selected.
Yes.
Okay. So you have age group selected. Then it would be able to have the phase selected from this.
Yes. Right.
But mostly it will be like this.
In the time, yes. Okay. So after you are selected the phase, you need to schedule for you want to register for a vaccination center, basically.
Okay. So you have a schedule. You have an appointment.
But you don't yet create an appointment. You just registered for a center, for a vaccination center, because we don't give persons appointments right from the beginning, but just we create waiting lists. Now, most of Romanians in the group, the chat will know exactly what I mean here. So
we can say this waiting.
Yeah, you put yourself in a waiting list for a vaccination center. Let's search another verb, not register.
Okay.
Okay. Center selected. Yeah, maybe, but yeah, maybe center selected.
Before the waiting list.
Waiting list selected. So you need to, yeah, before that, indeed, center selected, but the waiting list is based on the center. I mean, every center has a single waiting list.
Okay, so the person is first select the center he want to go.
Yes.
Okay, so he select the center. So then when he selected this, it's automatically is on the waiting list.
Yes. This is how it he sees it. Yes.
Okay, so I can say that, yeah, it's selected. Let's like this is on the waiting list.
It's on a waiting list. Yeah, basically you can say that the person is on a waiting list at that moment. Not sure if
so there is no event for it. It just happens automatically.
It just happens automatically, yes. But I guess some of them happen automatically. Like, for example, age group selected, that can happen automatically after you register.
Yeah, but you have age group selected, so then it's meaning you have a phase.
Okay, so
that's fine. Center is selected, so if there's only one waiting list, there's no need to
create another event.
Select another waiting list. There's only one.
Fair enough. Yes, indeed. And then later on, when the government, when the vaccines get into the country, so there is an external thing, which is the contract with the suppliers of vaccines, which ship vaccines to Romania. And that's like an external event, if you can. I don't know how to model this really.
So
from outside.
So vaccine delivered.
Exactly, vaccine delivered. And if after that event, we can schedule the people for the selected vaccination center.
Okay, so after that, so we have
some of them, not all. Those for which we have
the vaccine.
The vaccine, exactly.
Okay, so so then after that person will have he has agenda booking.
Yeah, he will be basically what the user will see is an SMS on his mobile phone. That's why I said the phone is critical.
So first things is, so he has a date book.
Automatically, yes. A date automatically computed by the system. Which,
so appointment.
Yeah, that will be the first internal event. Yeah, if you say that, yes.
Book it.
Appointment booked, yes.
Just right like this. And then on the same times, do like that automatically.
He will be sent a message, an SMS.
SMS sent.
Exactly. And the system will wait for confirmation from his part. So,
okay. So appointment book, SMS sent, and then okay. So we wait. So either you have appointment
confirmed, basically.
Confirm, yeah.
Yes, that's what you do. And this.
And if it's not confirmed, what's happened?
Well, actually, there is a phone call in there. Let's say there's a phone call in there, and you need.
So after a while, he has a phone call.
Let's pretend. I'm not entirely sure on this, but let's pretend that you call to confirm your reservation, or to rebook for another date. So
okay. So person call.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, person calls, and as a consequence, I mean, during that call, you can either confirm the booking or you can reschedule or something like that. It's a question from Mohammed. Are policies business rules actually?
Yeah.
Yes.
Could be business rules or orchestra.
Okay. So appointment rescheduled.
Reschedule. I forget how to write.
Yes, scheduled, E-D-U. Yes, that's it.
Wow, not really sure. Okay, so we have either this person call, or the person could cancel.
Well, could cancel, could say, but then if she doesn't want to be vaccinated at all, why did he register in the first place? So
maybe afterwards you have the other vaccine, the one that everyone doesn't want, came and he said, no, I don't want. Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, you can cancel indeed. My parents did actually.
Your parent cancel?
Yeah, because they were assigned to AstraZeneca. So yeah, you can cancel, but yeah, you can cancel your appointment, but then you will not be scheduled again for that center. You need to
you need to read
another center.
Everything. You need to do again everything. Okay.
Yes.
So it's mean that if we take, let's say we take another event that's after, I don't know, how many days max I wait for the person to call?
3 days.
3 days, okay. So
after 3 days?
3 days, after 3 days, we can say after 3 days, the appointment can be canceled too.
It's canceled automatically, yes, okay, okay. Fair
like
enough.
this.
Wait, why is it orange? Or purple, or what red? Why
Purple is external event.
Okay.
So external event could be a time event and so on.
Okay.
So like here, vaccine.
All right, I see.
Like this.
Good. All right. Should we continue adding more events, or you think there are enough? I mean, it's already quite complex here.
Yeah, we can say that we can go back. So we have the pictures is this now. Okay. So now we're gonna go more deeply. We enter deeply, so maybe we're gonna put some commands inside. And I think is the person is still person all the time there, or when he's starting here after he have the appointment is a patient, or it's considered as a person.
It's considered as a person for the entire duration. It's the same term we used. We use up to the end. We only consider it a patient when it shows on the vaccination day.
Okay, so
from
that's
then
letter.
on, it's a patient.
Okay, so that's letter.
But that's not in our word.
So we don't care. Okay.
Yeah.
So like my question, person registered, what's happened? How would that event happen? Is an action, something happened before?
Well, the user has to access the browser website, and then he will create an account.
So,
okay, create account is the action. Interesting. Yes. Account.
Okay, create account, and then we have person registered.
Yes, indeed.
There's no reason that a person has been refused to be registered.
No, every citizen, every remaining citizen can create an account and can be registered, but the moment in which they will be scheduled, the appointment. I mean, this appointment book event. That thing here depends. The appointment booked event depends on the phase, basically.
Okay. Okay. So create account, person registered. We could use at that moment here, for example, we could put here an entity and say so person.
Okay, that's an entity, you say. Yeah,
a person, and a person has what? He has I don't know, the secure ID inside, and what are the stuff that we're interested on here? He puts his secure ID, and it's enough for to know who is that person.
We have a national identification number, like a social security number in the US. We have a national.
How you call this here in?
It's called CNP.
CNP.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
That will be the primary key, basically. Yes.
Okay, so with the CNP, we know exactly who's the person.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So we have here. Okay. CMP. Okay. So for the age group is selected.
Indeed. There is a thing here. As Dragoi mentioned, like the other business domain expert mentioned, someone which has under 16 or 18 years, he can't register for, he can't create an account yet.
Ah, see. So there are, okay, I put this one here.
Because we don't yet vaccine people who are under 18.
Yes, correct. At least in Switzerland, the same.
Yeah.
So person, how we say, refuse?
Refuse, yeah, it could be an event. Yeah.
Refuse under 18.
Yes. Oh, there's an event. Okay, interesting.
Okay. So it's an event. It's a possibility.
Okay.
Like this. Okay. So person refuse. What's happened to the if this person is refused?
He just can't create an account and nothing. He can't do anything else because everything in the following it's depending on, I mean, anything visible for him will be through the website, and if he can't access the website,
so it's all will be on the website. We don't send an email or whatever.
We just refuse it in the website. Nothing more.
Okay. So we live like this. Okay.
Yep.
So what's happened? Why we have the age groups collected? There's an action. Is something happened? There's maybe a policies in the middle here.
Well, there are some government regulations in this regard, which we need to take into account, which is specifying what groups get vaccine in what phases. Actually, there are also sub-phases, but that's more detailed.
So the action could be or select
age group. All right.
Select phase.
Yeah, that will be that's the goal. The goal after someone creates his account is to determine the phase.
Yeah.
So
I would say the action is select a phase.
Okay.
My action is select a phase, and what's happening behind is first you have the age group that been selected, and then the phase selected.
Can I ask you a technical question at this moment?
Yeah.
I also read a bit about brainstorming, and I was under the impression, perhaps wrong, that both events and actions are messages that could be sent on queue or any other.
Yeah.
But you mentioned now that that's an action of select phase.
It's a command. So what would be, I propose this one, so it could be something else. What would be the command? Either we have here a command, either we have a policies that happen there. But even with the policies, what I mean is that after the person is registered,
yes,
it is automatically that we select a phase for the person.
Well, it's automatically we select an age group, but to select a phase, there could be other, there is a human step involved, which can assign a person to an earlier phase than the one corresponding for the age group. To give an example,
because they need to answer a bunch of questions. Because if they have some sickness and things like this, it can be in the early.
Yes, that's one reason, and plus there are some background checks on that person also.
Okay, so there's another stuff here we can put is that background. Yeah,
for example, we will look up his medical record in the registers for chronic diseases, and in case they are suffering from some chronic disease, they are given priority and they are being vaccinated earlier. Or as Damian pointed out, in Poland, also in Romania, if you have an oncology person, someone with cancer, he will get priority and earlier phase, at least to my knowledge. So there is little exceptions to the rule of age, basically. Yeah. So yeah, indeed, the age group is selected automatically by mathematics. It's easy to access, but the background.
So what we can say is that between this and this one, we have a policies this year.
Okay.
Okay. So it's phase calculator, let's say.
Which implements the business rules, basically. Those ifs, those.
So he has the event. So first things we selected the age, we had the data, the business data. We have so we can even go here, put this here. So person and this like this, this. Because
why do you order them like that?
Because I say when the person is registered. Yeah, I know you're right. Doesn't work like this.
It's after registration, exactly. Yeah.
It's after registration. It's
yes,
correct.
perfect. Now I understand.
It's after registration, yeah, you're correct.
And how do you express the fact that there is a manual background check? So there are employees who will scan those, because we don't have such strong informatics system in Romania, and people need to be looked up manually in some systems. How do you? So basically, the background data given is after someone checks him up. There is a human step in there, basically.
Yeah, but here I don't say when it's a technical or human.
Okay.
It could be all human.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just this is, we know it's a SMS sent, and this one we know the person called. But here, person registered, yeah, it could be someone that take note and register the person.
Oh, like creating for an account for someone else.
Yeah.
Like, for example, an old guy or an old person who can't use computer easily.
Yeah, that could be too here.
Okay.
That you have a person create an account. Here could be another action is to be create an account for a third party or whatever.
Okay.
Could be, but what I mean is that all the events here, I don't say if it's a system that's doing this. So what I need here, I need all the events, even the manual one.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense.
Okay, so I have background data given. Okay, age group has been selected. It could be here. It could be like I can say here. It's here. So that's the person, and here is the nurse, for example. And it's the nurse is doing that job.
Okay, and the nurse is responsible for personas, yes, to background check the person. Yeah.
So background data check it.
Yes, or gathered, or I don't know. Check. Or collected, maybe, background data collected or checked. Checked, it's not saying much, right? So collected is like, yeah, we get the data.
Collected. Okay, background data collected, age group selected. That's nice. Nurse is doing something else.
All right, but there is one interesting rule here. We want to make sure that the system that the person that they register, they have a valid phone number, because we plan the shipping of vaccines according to the length of. So the phone is very important to be valid.
Yes, so it's mobile.
Mobile, yeah. Give an SMS, yes.
Check it.
Yes, checked. And that need to be okay. Yeah, indeed. There is a ping pong of SMS or someone, but it's just an event for us.
Yeah, so mobile number, check it. It's fine for us.
Yes, perfect. Makes sense. We're verified. Yes, indeed.
Okay, you see, we start to complete more and stuff inside. First iteration, we did very fast to have a timeline, and we just get the normal timeline. And then we iterate and we go more deep inside to look what's happening inside. Maybe we find new event, maybe we find action, command, etc. Maybe we find another path. Could be there's a second path. I don't know. So, for example, like you say,
in reality, there was a path. It's a case in which the social services can register someone for a vaccine with a higher priority, but that was in the sad reality is that it never got through. It was never really implemented. But let's imagine that you could register someone, but It's not the person who is registering in that.
Okay, so urgent registration.
Yeah, okay. And in that case, who will do that is authorized to manually set a phase, basically.
Okay.
So it will
But
bypass.
we can say that the person that is doing this is a nurse.
Perhaps, yes.
Perhaps. Okay.
But,
and so we have
no,
an
not
action.
VIP. No, it's just there are some persons for whom you can basically create an appointment directly. Again, it was never really implemented to the end, but it was in plan at some point. I know for sure.
It will create the appointment, but you need to have first to have the person in the system.
Yes. So basically, that nurse in that case creates the account. Yes.
Yeah, but okay.
But
So it's the same. It's the same one. It's we can say it's same. It's create account. The person I put here, so it's not the mean here. So I put okay, create account. It could be the buff here, but here it's a urgent person register. And it's a nurse that is doing this. And then we have it go, so urgent, and we go directly.
Yeah, exactly, to face selected. Yes, to face selected, I think. It bypasses, yes. But yeah. it's not a nurse, it's a social worker, basically.
Okay.
It's not medical, it's from social services. No, it's may have wait, there are a lot of chat, a lot of messages in the chat. Just one second, slower. So employees of critical
more domain experts.
Yeah, people imagining like employees of critical businesses may have higher priority, but it's not ethical, and no country, to my knowledge, I mean, in Romania they don't do that, like critical persons for businesses. No, that's basically the phase that you are given, that's the thing. And there are rules in this regard. For example, indeed, medical practitioners and those who are exposed, like workers in gas stations, get an earlier phase selected. But that's part of the policy, right? That's the
but that's the norm online here with the background data. You know that it's an early person, and so he passed first compared to the others.
Yes.
So that's still the norm online.
There was a question.
And what I understand here is that we bypass everything that is here.
Yes, but
we select a phase for that person.
They do have to have a valid phone number. That's the only thing that needs to happen. Indeed, it's makes little sense. I mean, how else would you communicate with that person? And really, person without a phone name, it's phone number. So you do have to validate your phone number, even so. If that phone number is really the person's phone number, or if it's the phone number of the social worker, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you do check. Okay. Fair enough.
I put this here so we know that's for that specific here.
All right.
It go together. So I make like this.
All right. Yeah. Perfect.
Like this. Otherwise, it go up.
So create account. It can create two. Okay.
Like this.
So that action can lead to 3 events. Is it so?
3 events.
Okay. Okay. And then person registered event will lead to.
Then person register event will lead to.
Not first. First, it will check the phone number.
Could be like this, or you say check the phone number.
Yes, and then
from the phone number we select the age group.
Now that I see what you're drawing, I realize something.
It could be parallel. It could be things that is done in parallel.
Yeah, but we won't assign anyone to do the background check, which is a manual, unless the phone number is valid. And to be honest, we don't even create an account for that person unless the phone number is valid. So there will be like this account is like in a draft state. It's like in a unvalidated, basically. So we might even not consider the person registered until we validate the phone number.
I don't know. You're the
yeah, no, but that's the reality. So we need to validate the phone number, and only then we consider the person registered.
So on the system, what they're doing is they have a temporary state for the person.
Exactly. That
and then if it's validate, say
bingo, exactly that. Yes.
So it's person register, and then you may have like this.
I think it's a bit the other way. You create an account, and then you check the phone number, and then you register. Or
yeah, so you check the phone number.
Yes, no matter what. Exactly.
Okay, let's do like this. Yeah, but if it's a person of less 18, you stop. You don't wait.
Stop directly. Exactly. Very well. Yes. Perfect.
Okay. So, and then it's like this.
Yes. Better.
Could be like this.
Perfect.
Okay. We can do like this. This one go out like this. Could be like this. Okay. So the thing here is that the person is create the account. Yeah, but it doesn't work, like this. To say create account and you check the number.
Well,
because the action for mobile number check it is check number.
Well, then let's start with check number, and after that you create the account. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, but okay, here you have check numbers, but then that one here have no value. So it means you check the numbers before even you know that the person is under 18. That one is correct. Check numbers, so I'll go there. I'm fine.
Okay. Let's.
So first you need to register the person, but the person entity is on the state of a temporary state.
Yes.
Okay.
With only the phone number.
When the phone number is validate, the entity is on the state of created.
All right.
You see?
Yes. Okay. Makes sense.
If we're doing here, so create user, create person. Okay. So create person. So we have a person created.
So the first thing that the system will ask anyone will be to provide a valid phone number. After the phone number is validated by an SMS exchange.
Here is so person with the CNP, and then he has state equal temp. Okay. So we know that currently is on temp statute.
Okay.
Person created, then.
But then I have to
all this further.
There is a trick here. If you mention that, if you want to have directly the mapping between, if in that temporary person you want to have the number, the identification number. The identification number provides you the sufficient information to determine the age. And if the age is under 18, then you refuse directly.
Yeah, that's why here.
Okay.
You enter, you have the CNP anyway.
Okay, perfect. So after the person, you either refuse.
So either the person, so you have your entity, it's a person, he has a CNP and he has a state of temp.
Yes.
Okay. Well, not really temp here because just this one.
Exactly.
Okay. So we can say that when you create the person, it may go directly to refuse.
Yes.
Because you know, or you go to person created.
Yes, perfect.
And that we are in a temporary state.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
so then after the next step that goes to check number.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a person, I live here, that person here. So then duplicate this one. And so I can move this one here. So we have mobile number, check it.
Yes.
So now we are on the
confirmed state, or state equals confirmed, or
created or confirmed. As you know,
we said confirmed.
Confirmed. Okay.
Yes.
Confirmed. So something that we could do on the side is to create a glossary of all the business term. So for example, if we have a business term that you say for you in the business is confirmed, but for me it's created, I can say, okay, confirm it, it means created.
But then probably we need to use in the code, right, the business term.
Yeah, you need to use the business, but you use the glossary mostly because you have different domain, and in this different domain you use different words for say the same things.
Okay. Okay.
Because then after you need to have that you need to create this translator between the domains.
Okay.
But for example, here you have a person, and then later is a patient. So already it's two different things.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, indeed. So we are focusing on studying a single bounded context in this, but if we had a larger flow, like including the actual vaccination day, that might be two words in there.
Two words, two different words, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we have the person said, please confirm, yes, it's mobile number. So then at that moment, it's either the person is registered, either we're moving to the urgent person registered.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Let's look it. And third, we know that here is the social network person, and not by this one we live here. Social worker is working on it. So here, truly, if we have is that we have an action. No, blue, I say.
Okay.
So register, no, select urgent phase, select. Select urgent phase.
Mm-hmm.
The social worker is doing this. He say, okay, I select an urgent phase.
Yeah, but he has.
No, it's not this one. Ah, shit. I'm doing wrong side. No, urgent person register. That's event doesn't exist.
Okay.
That event doesn't exist. It's an action because it's selected. It go directly here.
So again, why is it an action? Explain. So what do you mean? Number check.
The social worker, if you want to select urgent.
Technically speaking, it's a different flow.
Yeah.
It has a different application.
And it's starting from here. Or it go here. Here. Because mobile numbers we don't need here. This.
Okay, yes, makes sense.
Okay.
Actually, from person registered, you can start both age group selected and background data collected.
Yeah.
But I think there should be an action in between, or?
There should be an action in between because we have a person register. So what we're doing here is that we
background check, basically.
A background check.
That's the action. Oh, so we start by the event, and then we reason what happens in between those.
Check background.
Check background, which is the action. Why is it better to start with events and not with actions?
Huh?
Never mind. I'm just thinking.
You have a comment and the event. The event it's on the past. The comment the comment is on the present. It's why you, no, that much. My example is stupid, not working. But you need to have a comment to have an event. An event cannot happen like this without anything. It could be a command, it could be a policies, it could be an external system that will make that event appear. An event cannot appear like magic.
All right, makes sense.
For sure it has something. Maybe it's time, like we did in there.
But look, in this particular there you linked background check with age group selected, but age group selected is very easy to do, and it might not actually deserve to be an event, because the age is obvious in the person by the CNP. So
since when is they do the background data collected?
It's collected at the first registration when it creates the account. So no, the background data is okay. It's okay, but I'm thinking about age group selected. That's my concern now, because it's not really a relevant event for us. Age group selected is just basically looking at the CNP. It makes sense, right? Because it's not really something important. Okay. Yeah.
So now what we have is that, so here is, it's the social worker, it's not the nurse.
Yeah, probably it's also a social worker, which will look up in different registers, or
So person register, blah, blah, okay. Social workers doing this.
Yeah.
Then a background check, then there's a policies about how we select the policy, the phase.
The phase, exactly.
Okay.
And that could be in implementation, a rule engine or something like that.
Yes. Could be a rule engine. So here, the policies, this could be a rule engines, could be orchestrator, it could be, with a complex system.
When you mention orchestrator, what are you?
It's a rules engines.
Okay. Good. And then phase.
Vernon is talking about the rule engine as an orchestrator.
Ah, all right. Okay.
Okay, so we have the phase selected. And now we move to post-it more.
Yeah, because due to time, I think it's perhaps, I don't know, better to see what other things we.
Yeah, so what we can see it already now that we have created here. So we have from what we can do, it's already, we can look that from here to person check with person register, we have up to here, but we have this we move here. We can say that here we are on the
registration phase or something.
Yeah, registration domain, just registration. Yes, thank you. And we see nothing. So here. No. It doesn't want. Okay, so we leave with this. So that's the registration here. I make like this. Like this. So here we have registration up to here. Fine. Say okay. Up to here we have the registration. So we have already a domain here. Okay. Up to here we have another domain.
That could be systems in the end.
Huh?
Those could be actually systems, right?
Yeah, so here's a domain it's about phase.
Exactly, phase selection, phase
selection. Let's say it's
phase. It's a very hot topic, yes, indeed.
Hot topic, okay. That could be here. That could be another domain, and then we have another domain here, and etc., etc. Here, clearly, it's a subdomain. That's a subdomain. It's not part of really of the core business.
It's a supporting domain, basically.
It's a supporting domain, yeah. That's a supporting domain, but that one is a core domain because it's probably on them. Okay, so we can say that that part could be something coming from outside.
Like a third-party solution.
Third-party solution and something like this. But we know that that part here, it's something that is from us and that we're going to implement that part. So what I'm doing now here, on what we did it. So for example, the phase calculator, I'm going to start to do a specification by example. So it's BDD. I do the gherkin and I say, okay, so given the background data is checked, when something happens, what is going to be the result? And I'm going to look all the gherkin scenario that I have here, so I can have more detailed insight.
It's a sort of an outside in from the boundary of that.
Yes. So I can understand clearly what's happening inside.
Okay.
So then after, as a developer, either I do outside in TDD, either I do TDD, a normal TDD, BDD, whatever you want, but you have everything to understand clearly what needs to be done on that part here.
Makes sense. But okay. I also heard that with event storming, you can easier identify aggregates.
Yeah, but you have it's kind of aggregates, but that's a complex aggregate. That's the problem here. So we have an entity here. That's a person, simply it's confirmed. Well, he has something. He has a state. It could be a state. So here's confirm, and here is
with a phase equal to phase compute.
Yeah, phase compute. Okay, here. So you have here. The thing is, here you have a complex aggregator because you have a rule here. So you have this here, hold this here. I will say the part here I will put here as an aggregator. That could be another one here. Okay. We're not completely really detailed inside. So this one maybe can broke on many other aggregator.
Yeah, for sure.
You see, because it's a complex things. Okay. Yeah, like this.
Cool.
So after when you code, either you work on, you program as event sourcing, and this is going to be a class, that's going to be another class. You're going to have a command class, event class, rule class that will do the job and everything. You can have insight. What we did here, we just did the strategic event storming, and then after you can go deeper inside and you do tactical event storming.
So there's a different level, more detailed.
Yes. What I did here today is what we can do with the business, with business analysts and so on. I did things like this, for example, with the business in one of the company at the first during the first wave last year, where the business needed to understand how was their business flow. They wanted to identify, for example, the business object. They have no idea what was the business object. They had no idea about how was the workflow in Flanders. So the product owner, business analyst, and the business, they did event with one guy of the IT there, and they did just this to understand, to identify the business object, because person is a business object, for example, and things like this. They did all this, and then the team take all the boards they did it. They work with the domain experts and they go deeper inside, deeper to understand what's happening here, understand what are is there's really one action or there are other actions that we need. Because, for example, you look on this, you may start to have more event and more action that go inside this.
We had this already. We discovered more events along the way as we discovered. Yeah. If you focus just on face.
You see here, we had just, I think when we started, we have 2 post-its.
Yes, exactly. And then now
we did in the first iteration, and we went and we look at and we even simplify what we wanted to do.
And it's very easy to follow, really. Very easy to follow.
It's easy to follow. You can read it. I use the arrow to after a while to start to understand what's happening.
And then that rule that you mentioned, that between
I put you an example. I take for example, this one. That's the one I made the pictures before that we did an event storming in 2. So we put the different phase we had event storming. So the first phase, the first day we met, so was the 26th of July, and then that was the 17th of August. So that was the first phase. We already identified the different domain with registration, requirement, reservation, booking, evaluate, and payment. And then a month after nearly, we go deeper inside.
Yeah.
And here, if you go deeper, so registration is the same. It's a subdomain. So we're not really interesting. We have two paths. And yeah, for example, here, if you look upstairs, you should have, I think it's, I don't know. You didn't use the color I'm used to. But you go deeper inside, and we started to find more stuff inside. But we have somewhere here, we have an aggregate. That's
his events are orange here, I think. Because
orange. Orange. It's that's action.
Actions are blue, and
no, this is the entity agenda notifier.
And oranges are events here.
The orange are events, and that's the personal.
Okay.
And this, no, talent application, no, that's the entity. So the red one, I think it's external event.
External.
Yeah. So inside, you have simple parts and more complex parts.
Good.
But we didn't go further because the customer was out of money.
No, but honestly, one of the things that I love a lot about this is that you get to work together, and in a smaller team, probably everyone can get right access to that board, and we can collaboratively add post-its and feels like working together. Peter asked, do you have any recommendation on how to learn event storming? Some books, some trainings?
But you have a book. Well, I don't find any more board. I don't know where I put my board. That's fun. Book. Sandro not Sandro. Alberto Brandolini has a book on LeanPub, but he never finished. It's a starting book, let's say. I think it's much better to try to find on YouTube some presentation from Alberto that explain how it's working than try to read the book. It's not complete. Yeah, I know. But
in case any of the opportunities,
but it cannot open like this.
In case any of the attendees are planning to try this in real life, would you be available for them to help in case?
Yes.
And if you can end this with your contact details, I think it's best.
Yes. Alors, my contact detail.
That slide that you had, perfect, or a site if you want.
No, it's not working. It doesn't want. Well, okay, forget. I will find the slide another time.
Okay.
So my contact detail is on the slide that is here. here like this. No, what's happened? Oh, I lost my slide. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna do like this.
Damian shared in the chat a link. Yeah, thanks.
My LinkedIn has been shared on the chat. I think it's going to be faster.
Okay, that's better. Thanks, Damian. Thanks everyone for this. Thanks a lot, Alex. Let's wait for this link. And yeah, cool stuff.
So a second. I don't know if someone, Petit, you share already my
let me search you. LinkedIn, Alexandre Cuva.
Yeah, the link pub. It's been already here.
This is
here.
Alexander on the chat. Yeah.
Very
Perfect. Thanks a lot, folks. Thanks very much to everyone.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Yeah. Hope to see
Yes,
you.
so as they say, the people they put on copy. So there's the training of Alberto. That's one solution for learning more, go more deeply inside. The book, but it's not finished. It never finished. And you probably will not learn much more than what I explained to you today in the book, because it's really not finished. You can learn more by watching a video from him that explains the event storming. I know that Vernon, if you go to one of the training, the domain-driven design training from Vernon, you have an introduction of on the event storming too. That's another solution to learn, and that's it.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Thanks very much for accepting the invitation. And yeah, have a nice evening, everyone, and nice vacation for you those who are.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.